Welcome to the Ultimate Mixtape, an Andrew McMahon fan podcast covering his projects from something corporate to wilderness and everything in between. Join your hosts, Jess and Jimmy, as they talk about the Andrew McMahon fandom, upcoming shows, news, and discuss the music with you, the fans.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jess Manzella, and with me, as always, I have my partner in crime and life, Jimmy McFadden.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to our podcast. And this episode is a little bit different because we almost felt like we needed an emergency podcast episode. Basically, we just felt the need to address one of Andrew's most recent videos. He did an Instagram post recently where he stated that he was thinking about not touring for a while. So it kind of sent all of the Andrew fandom into a little whirlwind. Everyone was spiraling and everybody had a lot of questions. And we wanted to talk about that. What exactly not touring for a while means and what the fan reactions were to that video. And firstly, I do want to talk to Jimmy and see what he thought about this, but I think we do kind of need to address a little bit of what we're seeing, especially today. We waited a little bit to record this episode. There's news coming out. 2 SOCO shows got announced for New Year's Eve, and we have been seeing some negative fan reactions online. And I think people are forgetting that something corporate are just a bunch of normal guys. It's kind of disheartening to know that people are really demanding shows of them and having like complete disregard for them as human beings. They don't owe anyone a show at all. And we should be happy that they are even blessing us with any kind of shows. So if you have something negative to say about the way that they're doing things or you're disappointed, that's understandable. But you should not be posting these things online where you're trying to start fights with people. We saw that a lot on Andrew's page today on Facebook, and it's just unnecessary. What do you think about all that, Jimmy? Like, what did you think when you saw the video, and what do you think about like some of these fan reactions that you're seeing?
I'm gonna preface this, which I'm older than most of the people, so I think I took a different reaction when he did the video. My life was not ending when he did the video. I wasn't spiraling. It was like, okay, he wants to take a break.
People seem to forget he's done this before.
Right.
He has taken breaks before. He's been touring relentlessly since COVID restrictions have lifted.
Right.
So
let alone during COVID, he did the movie or like the drive-in. Like who else did that?
He's one of the few artists that actually like tried to still see fans at that point.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to be as nice as possible about it, but I'm definitely opinionated, which I'm sure that shocks everybody. But to me, it was like my first thought was his family when he said he was going to take a break. I didn't relate it to music. I didn't relate it to he might be tired. I related it to he has a beautiful wife and he has a beautiful daughter at home. Let him go see them. So we're spoiled. And people being rude and people being, they're fucking babies. I'm just going to be really honest. They acted like babies today. He tours all the time, and I'm about to get into some stats later on in this episode that will show you how much he toured, so I can make you all look really fucking stupid. But he's a dad. He's a husband. Cecilia is obviously getting older, so to me, she's probably doing more school activities and things like that he wants to be a part of. Who doesn't want to be a part of your daughter's like after school activities, or she's into music, so I'm sure she has like recitals and things, or whatever the activity is. It doesn't matter. I'm sure he wants to be there for it. So that was my first thought. And believe me, I want to see him as much as everybody else does, but you have to understand that Kelly and Cecilia and his parents and everyone are his priorities. So that was my first thought. my second thought was, we know Andrew pretty well. He's not going to go away for very long.
Yeah.
Like, he loves touring. Like, he loves to be in the crowd. He loves to like see his fans. He's not going to be gone very long. So to me, this break is like smaller headlining tours. This new Friends tour is 32 shows. He doesn't need to do that. Like he doesn't need to do that at all. So he might do the festivals. Like when we were young, he popped in for a 30-minute set for each day. Like maybe he'll do more of that stuff so he can be home. But there's still going to be plenty of opportunities to see him. You may have to travel. We already travel. Like we travel literally all over the US for him. So that's not going to change. But it was, like you said, it was super disheartening today to see people acting like children because the two SOCO shows were in California, where he lives, where his family is, where all like everyone is there. It's New Year's Eve. It's the day before New Year's. He wants to be around his family. He doesn't want to be in Michigan. He doesn't want to be in New York. He wants to be in California. So I'll calm down and say that's all I have for that. But it's just, it was disheartening. Like you guys are like, and us included, we're so spoiled with him that he doesn't like, he does so much for us. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and in case you did miss it, there was a lot of chaos that came of that. And kind of like you said, I feel like there's different levels to Andrew fans right now.
Yeah.
You get your first level fan is somebody that is just discovering him, somebody that heard his song on the radio or something like that, and they're like, "Man, this guy's cool. I want to check him out. Go to a show." Then you have your people that you know, they're the SOCO fans. They're the ones yelling Constantine at the show. They're the ones that are only going to hear those certain songs. They're not really open to the other music that he
Yeah.
has.
Some
Then
don't
you,
even know he did Jax.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's crazy.
Some fans kind of elevate into that era where they're going to a couple shows now. They're going to catch him every time he's there. And each level elevates, but I feel like there's a lot of the fans that are expecting something corporate when a huge amount of his fandom has moved on and essentially grown with him into the wilderness. I mean, you've got
Right.
people like us that travel across the country to go see him.
Yep.
And it's fun. It's fun to
Yep.
do that. It's fun to take a vacation, go see friends, meet new people, travel, see our favorite band. That is what we like to do. So, just to see people freaking out about something, especially a band that hasn't played shows in 20 years, um, like you said, it kind of like rubbed some people the wrong way. And I saw some people really coming to like the defense of the band, which
Yeah,
was
which
nice
is
to see.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not following Andrew into the wilderness at this point, maybe you should stay home.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just what it is.
Yeah.
um, and kind of like you were saying, they've been touring so much.
Yeah.
Um, I have nothing but love and respect for Andrew. If he needs a break, by all means. And one of the things that he did do was reply to our friend AM Chalk, Lisa, on
Yep.
Instagram. So I just wanted to read his reply, and this is
Yeah.
the direct quote. Not trying to freak anyone out, I'll still do shows. Not sure these 6 to 9 week headlining shows are going to make as much sense in the future. I love this record and want people to hear it, and I'm glad to get a chance to play these songs, just not 100% sure what the future holds. You know me well, though, I can't stay away for long. If
Right.
some good support slots open up or cool one off shows that feel special, I'll be there. So that's kind of what we're used to seeing from him when he does take breaks. We could see him open for a bigger band. We can see him. He actually has a couple shows planned in Florida in January that are a little bit random, not really attached to radio stations or anything like that. So that might be what we're seeing for this next year,
Yep.
especially as we see these other bigger shows that we know about start to
Right.
gear up. So, I mean, there's a lot to dissect in that statement,
Mhm.
but let's appreciate Andrew, everything that he's done, all the touring he's done, and just be respectful of his time, because that is a huge sacrifice for his family. And like you said, we're spoiled.
Right.
Not every artist travels and tours the way that he does.
No, no. And like you said, I think he said like there will be special shows. Like to me, like when we were young, as much as we didn't like it, it was a special show because he got some of the chorus
Mhm.
back together. This St. Pete show that's in Florida in January, it's a brand new venue. So it's like they had their first show, I think, 2 nights ago. So it's a brand new venue. It's something special. Like those are the type of things I think he's going to be doing. It's not going to be the big tours. And um, I got bored today and I dissected his schedule for this year. So this is how spoiled we are. And
This is
if
your
you
logistics mind.
this is my logistics mind. Yeah, absolutely. So bear with me for 30 seconds. If you want to fast forward, go ahead. But I'm going to tell you everything that he's done this year and how spoiled we are because I'm going to say this list is about 95% right. So the start of the year, he did 3 shows in Australia in February. He did Innings Fest in February, late February in Arizona, which is the baseball festival. They do it in Arizona. They do it in Tampa, Florida. He did it in Arizona. The Grammy Museum show, which was an off the wall one, we actually went out for it. He did the 2 shows in California at Chain Reaction for the album release. He did an off the wall show in Rockwood Music Hall in New York City in April, and then he went on a 14-show tour in May with the Unlikely Candidates. I forget who else was there. There was an opener, but Unlikely Candidates was the other opener. He did Good Morning America in May. He did Adjacent Fest in Atlantic City. He did Wonder Road in Indianapolis. He did Bonnaroo and the Sweet Mexican Restaurant Show. I think that counts as 2 shows.
Yes.
And then he went to the UK, Ireland, and Germany for 6 shows. So it's like by July, he's already been overseas twice.
Yeah, I'm already tired.
Yeah. And then, so when he got back from that, he went on the 11-show tour with Floor, and he did starting line with 2 shows, but we were lucky enough to see that. It was like whatever dates he didn't hit early on with Unlikely Candidates, he hit those cities with that Floor tour. And then he did Said Summerfest. He did Fort Worth, PA. He did off show in Bethel, New York. He did the 3 SOCO shows in Vegas, and now recurrent. He's doing a 32-show tour at the end of this year. 32 shows. Like, pick one. Like, if you're gonna complain to bitch, pick one. There's 32 to pick from. So this new Friends tour just started last week, and it runs through like the middle of December, I believe. And then this weekend coming up, we're going to Austin for the 2 shows at Dear Jack. And then he announced, obviously, today the 2 SOCO shows at the end of the year. So my logistics mind is still working. That's 87 shows he's done this year. That's 24% of the year. Overseas twice, Canada, which we actually went to, so we can call that another country. And he's done how many shows in the U.S.? Like, we're spoiled. It's like, it's unbelievable how much. And this is just shows that he's been at. This isn't like,
That's just this year.
yeah, this isn't rehearsal. This isn't like travel. This isn't prep time. This isn't signing like all the posters and books that he does for the VIP guests. Like, this is literally just 87 appearances at shows, festivals, or like the off the cuff shows. But it's like, he gives you so many opportunities to see him. He can't tell you where to live. Like, if you pick to live in the middle of the Midwest, that's your fault. Like, that's not your fault, but you have plenty of. He hits the Midwest all the time. So the
Maps
people
for
complain.
the getaway, get going.
What's that?
I said maps for the getaway, get going.
Right. Bring out the atlas. You'll be fine. But it's like he gives so much time to his fans. Like, VIP is a paid for thing. We typically at least will do it one time on the tour. But with that, he also meets people still after the show.
Yeah, don't forget he spends at least an hour or 2 after talking to people, taking pictures. He literally does not have to do that.
No. Typically, even like VIP, like the Blink VIP, you're not even going to see them. It's just you're going to walk through stuff. Like the VIP with him, he will sign so much stuff for you and take pictures with you and chat with you for a bit, and then he literally does it after the show, which he does not need to do. So it's like I'm grateful for him. I'm biased to him like to no extent, and will be an overprotective fan of him because I just hate to see the negative shit that like happened today. So that's my 2 cents, but that was a lot of sense. But with the shows that like all these shows this year, he also released a brand new album.
Yeah, let's not
and it's
forget that.
yeah, let's not forget that minor detail. So it's like he did a lot this year, and the stuff that I just read off was just this year. So real quick, what are your thoughts on the record that he did release?
So I just wanted to touch on like this conversation that we had this week with a couple of our friends in a text message. Um, because I was thinking about this. One of our other friends had mentioned that when she did VIP, she was with us and she was talking to Andrew, and he was like really interested in her life and wanting to know more about her and things like that. And um, when I brought this up to our friends, I was like, he does that for so many people,
Right.
right? He knows about their lives, he knows about their kids, he gets to know his fans, and that takes a lot of time. And I can barely do that with the people that I know in regular life. So
Right.
for him to take that time and make his fans feel special, like I think that is something very genuine and important to speak on, because if people are thinking this is just a cash grab from him,
Crazy.
you'll never see that from
Yeah.
Andrew McMahon. But
Well,
I do think we also need to address the mention of the new album. So
yeah.
Tilted the Wind No More. I think there's a lot that came along with that, and it's no secret that for many of the old school fans, they weren't really feeling the pop direction of that album and couldn't relate as well to it.
Mhm.
The more diehard fans are finding new meaning in the songs and really embracing them. And like, I don't work in music, I don't know how any of that works, but I would have to say it's probably harder now than ever to make money actually making music. One of our friends sent me a video of another artist talking about short form videos and how social media is really a main way to promote, and that is very difficult for artists to figure out how to use and
Mhm.
how to make money off of it. They're not conditioned to create content on a daily basis. And even before COVID and all of that, Andrew was not a huge person on social media. We
No.
always wanted him to post more stuff, but he really wasn't posting a lot of videos and things like
Mhm.
that. So I don't know how artists make money off albums anymore. I really don't. Um, I stream all my music. I told that same person I bought CDs this year. I don't know how to play them. I don't have any CD players. I
Right.
bought them because I wanted to support the bands.
Yep.
Um, we have no way to listen to music the same ways we used to before. And for example, I do know that artists that are streaming on platforms like Spotify, they basically make peanuts for the
Oh
money
yeah.
that or the music that they're putting on there.
Yep.
Unless you're Taylor Swift and you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands and millions of fans, you're making money off of Spotify.
Hmm.
But that's got to be a contributing factor.
Yep.
If you think Andrew needs a break in touring and he's really trying to promote his music, um, that might be why
Hmm.
he doesn't feel like that album did as well as it could have.
Hmm.
And it didn't really bring a mainstream hit. So it is sad to think that, but it's kind of like artists are selling vinyls now. So it's almost like they're going back in time. And from what I've seen on most artists selling vinyls, they're selling like up to 1,000 at a time or whatnot because
Hmm.
production is so slow on them.
Yep.
So I don't even think they're making money off of that, really. So the only way they're making money is by going and doing shows. But what do you think, Jimmy? Because you actually are a vinyl collector.
Mhm.
But even when those prices skyrocket, it's not like the artist sees that additional money. It's just a trading platform.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think they make much off vinyl or merch, honestly. I know I try to always buy straight from Andrew's website, directly, because I feel he gets a bigger cut. That could be absolutely completely wrong in my, like, me saying that, but in my head, I feel like he would have a better chance of getting more money if I bought straight from his site than like another record website. But I don't think, like, I think it's got to be so hard to make a substantial amount of money being a musician. And I'm sure it's frustrating as hell, because it's like, again, you said I do logistics for a living, so it's like I see what costs are. I see how much stuff is, like, gas prices and things like that are rising to move like something from point A to point B. I couldn't imagine how much touring costs for him now compared to like 10 years ago. Um, so it's like touring costs are high. The record sales, you're only getting a small, like you said, peanuts of it. It's like, where else do you make your money? And it's our friend Keegan from Vinyl Theater. During COVID, he was making songs for commercials, and like that was a way for him to make extra money. And it was like, I would never even have thought of doing something like that, but that was like his source of income. Obviously, it was a full time job doing something else, but like for his music money, that was the way he did it. He was making songs for commercials. So, and I think, again, we were talking about my age, but making TikToks for 20 seconds and making short videos, and that's how you promote yourself compared to making an amazing album, that's
Mhm.
crazy to me. Someone goes viral to make a 20-second video, whereas Andrew creates this beautiful album and it it goes not as far as he wants it to go. So I just think, like, I don't know. I love this album. I thought it was a very, very well done album. But Die Hard, obviously, I thought for sure Smoke and Ribbons would have done way more than it did. I thought it was going to be a Main Street hit because it connected with all of us. So to me, like you said, the true Andrew fans love the album. The bystanders that come once every 5 years, Constantine, might not love it as much. Um, but I feel like the real fans do love it. I know not everything I've heard, but a lot of people are missing like a zombies type album.
Mhm.
Um, because they loved like that whole, like, how he did that album. So maybe that's what they're wanting, but I thought this new album was really good. What did you think of it, and like how do you think promotion is another thing of him? Like how did the album get promoted?
Honestly, like I love the album too. I
Yeah,
connected with so many of the songs.
right.
I remember seeing somebody say that they felt like this album wasn't as deep, and I actually feel the opposite. I feel like
Agreed.
this
Yep.
album was way deeper because it's way more personal to his life. He's sharing
Hmm.
like true experiences of like fighting with his wife at a bar and things like that.
Yep.
So it just depends on the perspective of the person. But I, like I said, personally feel like this is like the deepest he's gone because he's
Yep.
sharing his true life experiences now.
Hmm.
I do think like as fans, we can be objective, right?
Of course.
We've been around for long enough to see like the different albums come through, and I feel like there was some shortcomings when it came to actually promoting the album.
Hmm.
Most of the songs were already out by the time the album came out,
Yep.
so there really wasn't a lot of hype because
Hmm.
we already had all those songs on our playlists.
Hmm.
Um, and I think like some of the marketing of it was off. And I wish um, I wish they would utilize Andrew's fans more. He's
Hmm.
got all these dedicated people that are so happy to make videos and participate, and we're starting to see some of that now.
For sure.
Um, but this could have been done a year ago,
Hmm.
and it could have helped people putting his songs in their videos. And if he can't commit to posting all these short videos and doing content the way influencers can, guess
Hmm.
what, he's got thousands of fans that can make social media posts using
Right.
his music.
Yep.
I kind of liken that to a strategy of like a street team.
Yeah.
So there's a missed opportunity with Camp Wilderness, and do not underestimate the things people will do for free stickers or posters or just to be like involved.
Yeah.
His fans absolutely love him, and a lot of them, including us, volunteer their time for free to
Hmm.
do their Jack events. Imagine what else that they can do. So
Yeah.
if you go back and listen to our previous episode, we did review some of the summer tour, and there was a show where we call out the lack of fan response to the new music, and even
Hmm.
Andrew called it out.
Yeah.
So there, you could feel that it was something you felt during the show, and I just wish there was. I don't even know. There could have been better promotion for that, and
Mhm.
um, I think that there was just a lot of opportunity there that wasn't taken.
Yeah.
What did you think about the promotion for the last tours and stuff?
Yeah. I agree with what you said. And I think looking at it now, like we're in November, it's a lot easier to look at now and say, oh, this should have happened or this should have happened, when knowing he has to plan these tours months and maybe even a year in advance. Um, but looking at it right now, because I can do that, I think the New Friends tour and the Floor tour should have been reversed.
Mhm.
So the
Yeah.
album came out and then go hit a big 32 show tour. Um, I think that would have been great. And then you do a lighter schedule at the end of the year because it's the end of the year, it's Christmas, it's holidays, it's whatever. But hit that big 32 show tour right when the album comes out. Hit all of the songs because he's playing like, I don't know, he's playing a lot of the album right now on this New Friends tour. Whereas the other
Yes.
tour, the tour with Floor and Starting Line, it might have been like 4 or 5 songs, but he's also in a hard predicament, I think, as well, because it's like the new album comes out. Not everybody knows it. Like, we're obsessed. Not everybody knows it like us. So
Mhm.
he could be like doing a show and no one's gonna know half the songs. And that's probably like a mental thing for him. That's probably like a lot of things. You can't get the fans into it. So I understand that part too. But maybe go heavier on the songs because try to get rid of that SOCO and Jax want so much. Like get in the wilderness, do all the albums and things like that, and really promote this new one. So that's my 2 cents. I would probably reverse that. But again, I'm looking at it as it's already happened. Like he had to plan this stuff so long in advance. So it's nothing bad on him. It's just looking at it now, it's like maybe that bigger tour should have happened
Yeah,
right when the
don't get me
album.
wrong. I love that set list from the summer. It was a
Oh my god, it was
wonderful
awesome.
mix. It
Yeah,
was like the perfect mix that you could ever want of all three bands. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
did really enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree because he played some songs that you hadn't heard for a while, and then like even on this new
Mhm.
tour, like I've seen spinning on the set list every night, and it's like I'm so glad that it's on there. But it seems like it's more minimal Jax and minimal SOCO, and it's really heavy
Mhm.
Wilderness, which I think is great. I think the SOCO buzz has probably affected some of this.
Yeah.
Um, the nostalgia of SOCO is obviously very huge, as what we saw in Vegas and or Vegas like that Friday night show and then the festival shows. So I think that has been really overwhelming probably to him. Um, People were probably saving up for the Vegas show where they might not
Mhm.
hit a wilderness show instead. So it's like if SoCo wasn't going on, they would probably hit 1 or 2 wilderness shows, whereas now their money's going to that SoCo Vegas or now the SoCo New Year's Eve. So it's like you got to pick and choose what you want to do. So maybe that's why this tour could not be selling out. But I don't know. Obviously, we're going to go to all of it. But
Mhm.
it's like people are having to choose now that SoCo and SoCo's been, like I said, so overwhelming that it's like they're so excited about it. But it's like he has this wilderness project that is absolutely amazing. It's like
Mhm.
guys getting to focus on this. But what are your thoughts on like how like towards the end of the year SoCo is really affected, like Andrew, the wilderness and all that?
I mean, I agree 100%. I think the excitement of something corporate playing
Yeah.
together definitely
Mm,
pushed back like his current projects and just kind of like took over all the hype and everything, especially because when we were young, went on sale so far in advance. people have just been waiting for this.
Yeah.
And in theory, you would think that these fans would transfer to Wilderness fans, and some do, but not
Mhm.
all of them do. They just
Mhm.
want to hear that band that they liked in high school.
Right.
And a question that I've seen a lot on Reddit or in like different fan groups is like, and for us, we're like, duh.
Yeah.
But people are literally asking, does Andrew play all new songs or does he play SOCO too? So there's still like a core of that fan group that
Yeah.
go just to hear the SOCO songs.
Right.
And I think that might be what we're starting to see now and witnessing in real time with
Mhm.
Andrew is how he's balancing the beloved bands of his past, right? Something corporate, Jack's Mannequin, SoCo's taking over right now, but Jack's Mannequin was one of my favorite bands in the world.
Right.
And how does he continue on his current trajectory with Wilderness, making that a brand, getting on the radio, churning out hits, touring, and building that fan base, but still paying homage to those past bands
Yep.
without having them take over. I mean, his set lists are only 20 something songs, right? He
Right.
can't play all of these songs. He's got such a long catalog now at this point.
Mhm.
And like you said, I think what we're going to start seeing now for Wilderness is maybe a more clear separation of the bands,
Yeah.
less heavy intermixing of the set lists
Mhm.
and more of a focus on like where Wilderness is going. And I
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea for him, because you can't live in nostalgia forever.
Right.
Um, and maybe he does those one-off shows every couple years of here's a Jack's Mannequin show, here's a SoCo show, and he's just doing those songs. But in order for him to keep growing, even as an artist, he's
Mhm.
going to have to tap into that Wilderness unless we joke about this, but he could start another project.
That's too much merch. No. No, I think just seeing, like I said it before, but seeing the summer set list compared to the current one, like they're so different, and I think that's fantastic. Like I think he's making like the steps in the right direction to really make this Wilderness, and it's like, look at the set, like
Mhm.
tents, bears, oh my, like he's got,
This is what he should have been doing the whole time, in my opinion.
yeah,
Like this um, campiness, for lack
yeah,
of a better word, of this whole set is amazing, top
yeah,
notch. Like what they're doing creatively is awesome. Like
right,
this should have been going on the whole time.
yeah, yeah, I agree. And it's like everyone needs to get like to his Wilderness project. Believe me, I love Jax, I love SoCo. Like we both have tattoos of Jax and SoCo. I absolutely love them, but it's like I don't need to hear them every night. I would rather hear the Wilderness album or like
Mhm,
that whole, all those albums. Like at a Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness show, that's what I'm expecting to hear. Like I don't
mhm,
want to hear Constantine. I don't want to hear all this other stuff. It's like that's what you should be expecting to hear. It's like, yeah, he'll do a SoCo show. He did one in Vegas. It was amazing. It was 20 something songs of just SoCo. Like that should be good. But it's like to put all these Wilderness songs like he's doing for this new Friends tour, I think it's brilliant. I think it's
so
like you said,
cool, so
yeah,
fun.
yeah, what he needed
Such
to
a great
do.
idea.
Yeah. So that's what I think. Speaking of like as we said, the tour is about a week old now. I think there's a show Flagstaff tonight. But then we go to Austin where he takes a break to do Dear Jack. I think the Dear Jack show is a tour show, but it's just with Wilderness and Michigander. But are you excited about going to Austin for Dear Jack?
I am. I've heard amazing things about Austin. I
Mhm.
can't wait to actually go because I feel like we've been waiting for this for so long. And
Yeah,
I mean, at this point, we all know if you've been following us or part of any of the Facebook groups, there is an 11/11 announcement that will be coming up, and they will finally announce Andrew McMahon's Holiday from Real cruise, including the three bands and others that I've been hinting at on Instagram. So if you haven't been following that, you should go look now.
Yep.
And it might be best for him right now to take less of the touring,
Mm-hmm.
and just really build that momentum for
Mm-hmm.
this show. Like Emo's Not Dead and some of the other cruises that we see, like the Rock Boat, like those shows sell out. The
Right.
Emo's Not Dead cruise sold out in a day.
Right. Yeah.
So they will sell out as long as there's a demand for it, which
Mm-hmm.
we feel it now. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that will continue to grow as people are getting more and more excited for it. And I think that that is going to truly feel like a family reunion,
For sure.
because
Yep.
maybe we haven't seen a lot of the people that we've seen before at shows because there hasn't been as many.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say AM fam, that's what we mean. We're bringing the family together. And I think that that has the potential to be very special.
Yeah. I
And
I agree.
I think for us, I want to plan some fun things to do on the boat. I think we could have like a social hour, or just like, do some fun experiences and
Mm-hmm.
just connect as like a fan base.
Yeah. Can we have dress up night? That's all I really want.
Oh, for sure. There's going to be something. I had a suggestion, if Andrew wants to steal it. I'm sure he's listening. Um, Night of 1,000 Constantines. Everybody dresses up in a blonde wig and their underwear, and everybody's a Constantine.
I would look good as a blonde.
I think it would be hilarious, but
It would.
but as we go forward in this year and even into next year, like if you want to support Andrew, you're his fan, and you want to see him do well like the rest of us, you need to go out to the shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the support is. Share his music. And I think as his fans, it's our responsibility to show people how amazing Andrew is. And I'm sure they all think we're crazy, because they're like, why are you always hanging out with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
But he's just such a genuine, amazing person. He cares about us. We want to
Yep.
show him that same love back.
Yep. I agree. I agree. I'm actually really looking forward to this announcement and the announcement being over. Because it's been like so long that we've
Mhm,
known about it. We're getting more details about it. Like it's just like let it
mhm,
happen. Um, but another thing I'm selfishly looking forward to is all these people who have come at you on Reddit and Facebook to eat their own words, because it's almost been like bullying type shit and just really uncalled for comments when you are literally trying to help them with information and they're fighting against it. It's it's just stupid. I've seen a lot of it and it's just really stupid. So I'm looking forward to that part too. But just speaking from like we did the two rock boats that Andrew was on. It's a hell of a vacation. Like it is. I think rock boat was like 5 days. I assume this will be similar, but it's like live music, alcohol if you like to drink, being around really close friends, like you said, it's like a family environment, and being on a boat where you have nowhere to drive, you can drink all you want, just be able to walk back to your room. Um, it's
Don't be a Jimmy in Key West.
Yeah, we never went there. But it's just it's a beautiful like trip. It is such a sweet vacation to know that it's more Andrew based than like
Mhm.
Rockboat and Sister Hazel and the Hazelnuts. It's going to be so much more fun. Don't forget about those hazelnuts. Um, but
Never
I'm
forget.
looking forward to it. We're going to have a blast. We definitely won't be missing the boat. um, but I can't wait for that announcement to finally happen so people can be done speculating all this BS that they're speculating. But back to the current tour real quick, because I do want to go back to that real quick. There's obviously not a show in Florida for this, so we're actually staying another day in Texas to hit the Houston show. But I know you said you like the camping stuff and all that on the tour so far, but what have your thoughts been like of the set list and things like that so far for the New Friends tour?
I think on this current tour, Andrew, like it's kind of a little weird because it's a far cry from requests are for karaoke bars, Andrew. And now he's saying, come sing karaoke with me. So I'm hoping that I can reach out to a couple people that have been winners and somebody will come on and talk about that experience on the podcast and tell us what that was like. But
That'd be cool.
it's fun to see Andrew having fun with it, people dressed up as bears and whatnot. And you never know. We may dress up.
Why would we not?
But from what I've seen, this stage setup, why is it taking so long to do this? It's so funny. It's so his humor too. Like it's perfect. And if this is going to be his last tour for a little while, this is the one to go to. It's dedicated to the fans with Camp Wilderness. Um, if you're going to try traveling, do it now. See what it's like. Go have a fun weekend vacation. It looks like there's a lot of interaction with the fans, and if you get a chance to go, this is the time to go before he's chilling out for the next couple months.
Yeah, I agree. I think the tour setup has been a lot of fun. It's smart, like you said. It's Camp Wilderness at its finest. It starts out with Mikey being a trumpet boy, and then there's grizzly bears on the damn stage. So I think it looks like a lot of fun. I noticed the last couple of shows. Obviously, they have four people roasting marshmallows, but they're starting to throw them at the fans, which I think is amazing. I would love to be a part of that throwing. But I just think it looks like a good time. You can tell Andrew's thoroughly enjoying himself. I think Matt he dressed up as the bear last night for his birthday. It was so damn funny. But I'm looking forward. I'm glad we're actually staying late in Texas to see one of those shows because he's obviously not coming to Florida. But I am excited about Austin this week. There's a lot of really cool activities that Dear Jack has put in place, way more than any other Dear Jack weekend that they've done before.
It's like a true event this time. So if you didn't get tickets, get them. Every event is awesome. Andrew's going to be at everything once again, giving up his time so graciously to his fans, and it's definitely going to be a wonderful time.
Yeah, I can't wait. So it's in 2 more days we get to leave, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so if you see us in Austin or Houston, please say hi. Remind me to take pictures because I'm terrible at that. And if you go to any other dates, we want to talk to you. Hit us up with your Andrew experiences. We want to talk to new people, get you guys on the podcast, have fun. But also, one last thing, Jimmy has reprinted his Something Corporate stickers. So if you miss out on them the first time, send one of us a message, or you can probably hit up AM Chalk. Our besties there, they can get you in contact with us. And we sent out 75 stickers not too long ago.
It raised $750 for Dear Jack just in those stickers.
We'll get those things posted. Even Ian from Newfound Glory, his brother reached out to us and ordered one of the stickers. So that was pretty cool to see. Definitely send us a message, and we're just excited to meet everybody.
Thank you guys for listening, and quit bitching.
We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Ultimate Mixtape, an Andrew McMahon fan podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you listen to your podcasts. To keep up with the latest news, visit our website, www.theultimatemixtape.com.